Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks again for stopping by for another video. Just want to give a short little rundown of what's kind of going on in this video. I'll be running our 257 skid loader as I was in the last video, which is currently on screen right now. Um, Basically, we'll be doing I'm doing a final grade on this property down in southern Minnesota. It's a custom home, so it's a little bit different than majority of the ones that we'll do, which are typically tract homes, which are mass produced in neighborhoods. This one's out in the country with a little bit more land. Um, I was originally here to actually do the backfill back in May, and it's now middle of October as you're seeing this. So it's been quite a while, and you can probably tell it's a little bit of a mess out here. And obviously that's just because of the gap for how long we've been here. So kind of our tasks that we'll be doing and you'll be seeing in this is we'll be working on de-weeding the property first, then we'll be grading out and fixing the original driveway that we put down when we backfilled. So we'll be spreading that pile of class 5 out that you can see right now, and then shooting out our swales that we'll have on this property to 2% pitch, and then getting the rest of the property to basically match all those things. I'll be working with another labor on grade crew here, and then there's also another operator here with me. So we got 2 skid loaders out here and a dozer um, that we'll be using. I didn't really get a whole lot of footage of the other guy and the other side of the home working. I was kind of in the front yard here, but basically the front yard and the side yard. But basically, this property has this big front kind of sloped hill, and then it kind of swoops around down to those trees. The property actually goes back probably 100 feet from the home into that tree line there, kind of up by that pine tree where I'm at right now, a little bit past that. Then straight back, and they have a huge kind of backyard area. I think this lot was about 1.38 acres, I want to say. And then the side yard is quite large on the left side there. That's where the dozer is mainly going to be working over on that side, and he was kind of cutting this large hill out for our dirt to use basically on the rest of this property as we needed to fill and match stuff. Um, as far as the driveway goes, it kind of was a mess. You know, we had it really nice. At least the class 5, the base of the driveway, we were tasked with spreading that out originally, and it was nice. But as contractor traffic, and we've got quite a lot of rain here in Minnesota, so it kind of wrecked it. So the builder had a few loads of class 5 dropped off, like I talked about, and I basically just needed to touch that up. So that's not normally something we would do. Typically, it would already be poured, but I guess the homeowner ran out of or didn't have the budget for that this year, so it's just going to be a gravel driveway for the time being. So I tried to make that as nice as possible. The driveway is actually, this is unique, but as in my last video, I kind of talked about high points and different points that we have to match. The driveway itself is the high point of the yard because this house sits at the very bottom of the hill. There's a cul-de-sac with a few homes up top, kind of to the left of where we're looking. So all the water runs down toward it, which isn't great, but the high point on the survey is the driveway itself, so that kind of has to be precise. So you'll see some stakes in the driveway throughout the videos or points that we needed to hit for water to be able to drain around it. This shot right here, you can kind of see I'm on the right side, like I talked about. The property goes into this wood line to the right few hundred, or 100 feet, sorry. And then in the back, you can kind of see it goes way down to that back tree, and then on the side is where the dozer is pulling from to get our material, which I'm spreading out right now. So he's just been pretty much worked on cutting that dirt out to be able to spread around the property. So yeah, right now I'm just working on getting our kind of 6 to 8 around the house, down from siding. It is a little low, a little low right on that corner there, but to be able to match everything, we don't have to, we can be more than 8 inches. You got to make it look nice, but if I were to raise that all the way up, it wouldn't really work with everything else, and we'd have to bring in a ton of material, so that's why that's not 6 to 8 inches down from siding. I just basically made it work from where the driveway was and then kind of tapered it down to the back there. So yeah, I'm just spreading that material out right now, and then I'll be transitioning back to the front yard here. So as I talked about earlier, this property was unique in the fact that the high point, which I kind of talked about, is normally for swales. In this case, the driveway is kind of the swale, and it is the highest point in this yard. Well, for the swale, not in the whole yard, but highest point for the swale. So basically the water is supposed to come down from the hill and surrounding houses and road and whatnot and hit that main stake that I'm kind of working around right there. And then it's supposed to taper off to the left and right of that stake and drain down each side of the house. So it'll basically go from that stake down to the one on the right, and then there's also one to the left. And then it's also supposed to go straight back down towards the truck in the picture right now, and then go left and right as well. And then obviously, like I said, curl around each side of the house. So typically, the driveway would be the height of where my rock is currently sitting at, but because they're not doing a driveway, at least for a while, we were asked to match rock basically to what driveway height would normally be. So yes, they're going to have to take some out, obviously, if they pour asphalt or do concrete, but we were asked to do this. So this also helps us match the as-built heights, because on the survey plans, these heights that all these stakes are at the height of blacktop. So this will help with the water runoff and just matching everything else in the yard properly. And it'll also make it nicer just for the homeowners to be able to get in and out of their garage. You can see here there's a few different points. So all these points are where the driveway is supposed to be. So you can see it kind of naturally tapers down to these first 3. Then it goes left and right, and also down towards where the skid's working, and then left and right from there. Right now I'm kind of just cutting out 2% right around kind of the driveway on the as-built, which is the survey plan that I showed in the last video. The water's supposed to come down, kind of hit this edge and wrap around, and then any other water on their property is supposed to, like I was talking about, match the driveway itself, and then it'll naturally taper down kind of along this edge. Right here I grabbed our dozer. There's a few of these trees that I ended up taking out, I think like 6 of them. I just took them out because, well, we took a decent amount out when we were here on the backfill, but I thought we needed to take a few more out just to make this transition where the water's supposed to go around the driveway a little bit nicer, and then I can actually get a machine in there to kind of grade that all out. So yeah, you can tell kind of along this driveway here, it's at the height it's supposed to be, so it kind of goes down towards where the dozer's at, and then the water is just supposed to go down into this tree line and then down the property to the back of the property. So that's kind of what working on right now in this clip. Something about the site in general too is the material we were pulling from to be able to match and fill in where needed was pretty rocky, so it's not the best looking final grade I've ever done or ever seen, but typically with rocks it's really hard to make things look nice when you're back dragging, and you can't really get rid of them that easily. We're not paid to have a rock bucket out there or anything like that to get rid of them, so fortunately that's just the nature of the beast. The landscapers, when they come to do sod and stuff, that's kind of more of their job or what they're tasked to do by the homeowner in this case. So overall, if it looks kind of lumpy and stuff, there's just rocks and whatnot that are left over, and kind of try your best to make everything look good. I mean, you could spend hours and hours out here fixing all that stuff and trying to get them out or whatnot, but yeah, the soil wasn't great, so that's just what that is. Also, I just want to say I want to emphasize that's not being lazy or that the company doesn't want to do that. That's just fortunately not something we get paid to do. So as much as that is the right thing to do, and I would love to do that, that's just, you kind of got to make the best of both worlds. For getting paid and doing the best that you can. So that's kind of the middle ground that we meet at, is doing that. And then also these trees that you'll see me moving here, there is a stockpile kind of weeds and brush that we took out from this property in the very back corner, so that's where I'm pushing all this stuff to. The homeowners told us to kind of stage that back there, and they will take care of those things. Normally we would obviously have a stockpile on site, or in this case probably have trucked this stuff out, but that's not something they wanted to pay for, and they said they would take care of it, so that's where all this stuff is going. So this is picking back up from earlier, kind of where we left off. After I dozed everything, kind of cleaned this front yard up with the dozer, made it a little bit nicer and flatter. Like I said before, when you hear me talk about percentages and stuff, I talked about earlier, it was 2%ing it. That just means in terms of slope, so 2% pitch from one point to another. So from back where that first stake was, I was working earlier, we have 2% pitch from there all the way around the corner. That's kind of the bare minimum that is required per code. Not sure if that's everywhere, but that's at least where we are. That's what's required. So as you can see, 2% is basically 10 feet, 2/10 every 10 feet. So a drop of 2/10 every 10 feet. So what my labor is kind of doing right here is working from every 10-foot mark, moving the grade rod reading up 2/10 on the grade rod, and then rechecking. So that's kind of what I was doing there with him, is cutting or filling based on what that reading was, and then what that ended up working out to was kind of right at the edge of this parking pad. Turnaround spot that they have is right on that corner. It kind of just starts to bomb down, which basically means more than 2%. It's got a ton of pitch, and we wouldn't need to keep checking that. And what I mean by keep checking that is the spot where the hill starts and goes down, that's obviously more than 2%, and then we would continue checking right off the corner of the house, like I talked about in the last video. From the corner of the house out at least 10 feet, it needs to be 2%. So as long as that hits, and then the rest of the backyard is steep and at 2%, that's all that really matters, and that's all we would need to check for that. So unfortunately, I didn't really get much more footage than this. It's again something I'm going to keep working on. Getting another camera will help, and more batteries. We were close to being done anyways, but I do have some before and after photos, so hopefully you'll enjoy those. And like I said, hopefully winter will start coming up here soon. We can get more plowing videos coming out. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and catch you on the next one.